A second batch of documents is released related to the late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
The latest unsealed documents from a settled 2015 lawsuit against Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell feature an email from plaintiff Virginia Roberts Giuffre alleging former President Bill Clinton threatened Vanity Fair not to write sex trafficking articles about Epstein. They also include photos of Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, former Vanity Fair editor Graydon Carter, says the Clinton threat alleged by Virginia Giuffre did not happen. The Labor Department's December jobs report comes out this morning.
Economists are predicting that employers added 168,000 new jobs last month after increasing more than expected to 199,000 in November. While the overall pace of job growth is easing, the labor market remains tight, with many employers unwilling to let workers go.
Fox's Hillary Barsky, America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And TGIF. Thank goodness it is.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And I think I just can't get rid of this.
Right over there on that side.
Well, it's just a phlegm
I don't
thing,
want
the
you to
sinus
phlegm.
drainage and whatever. It's no fever, nothing else. I don't feel bad. It's just a nagging.
A lot
And
of people
I
sick.
saw something on one of those internet sites this morning in scrolling. They said, you got coughing and phlegm, here's what we can do. Well, you click on it and you got to watch a 45-minute movie
Of course.
before you get anywhere.
Yeah,
So I know I don't do
That's
those.
a pain.
Those sponsored sites are no's for me.
Right.
So whatever. And then by the time you get to the end of it, it says nothing.
Of course.
Just spit it up and throw it out
Yeah.
or whatever. So anyway, it is Friday. It is chilly. It's up to 31 degrees now at the air station.
Well, it don't feel like it out there. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Well, you're not wearing any clothes.
I am. I'm wearing my loungewear.
Yeah, but you didn't. That's for inside.
My car was heated and toasty.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I started it up from the
About
house
4:00 this morning, right?
and had my little heated seats on and my heated steering wheel. I was good in there.
Heated steering wheel.
I love that thing.
Yeah, I have
Yes.
one too. It's nice.
Oh, it's amazing. Keeps your hands warm when you're driving. You don't need gloves.
I have gloves.
I don't need gloves.
I have gloves in
I
the
turn
truck.
the
do
heater
too, but
on.
I never wear them.
I don't. Well, I need them now.
I turn the heater on.
Yeah, but this you don't even have to have. Well, you can have the heater on, but this heats your steering wheel. This is nice. Keeps your hands warm.
Oh, back in history on the 1933, construction got underway on the bridge.
Mhm.
They started excavating 3.25 million cubic feet of dirt for the structure's huge anchorages. Had to move the dirt out from the bottom to be able to put the anchor stuff there. All of these plans kind of got started, revelations after the gold rush that began in 1849. And of course, San Francisco was there, but the huge population growth, people moving west. Go west, young man, go west. Go find some
I
gold.
saw that movie.
And then then they said, well, there's no way to go north of San Francisco without going way inland.
Right.
It's just across that little pond there,
Hmm.
what became known as the Golden Gate.
Correct.
And so they started coming up with ideas. And I think in 16, some guy developed a plan for a suspension bridge, but he said it would cost $100 million, which was really big change in those days. So they put it out for bids, and somebody else came up with a slightly different design, and they said they could do it for about $30 million. So they started construction, and I'm amazed that it only took 4 years for it to be completed. It's
Really?
like a 4,000 foot span.
And it took 52 years to get Piney Green widened.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. And they built a whole big giant bridge.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody needs some lessons.
Yep. You know what the reason it was gold, the color that it is not gold, but golden colored to begin with.
I thought it was red.
Well, red. Well, it's a primer paint.
Okay, why? So you could see it?
No, it was primer paint, so it would not rust away. You put
Okay,
primer on
makes sense.
steel
Okay.
first.
And they just,
But then they coming up at the end when they got ready to do it. It's
Mhm.
like, what are we going to do for the actual paint job? Because this is just a primer on it. So everything from black to candy stripes.
oh no.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
They didn't decide to do
The
that.
Army Air Corps wanted them to put candy cane stripes on it, red and white, like radio
Mhm.
towers have on them, so they could be seen from the air. And the Navy wanted something really fluorescent on it
Mhm.
because the ships could see
Yeah,
it in the
makes sense.
fog
Yeah,
because they didn't have the radar and stuff in the beginning.
right.
So they wanted all sorts of things to happen. But then they settled on this really reddish, bright red. It's actually it's orange, it's international
Mhm.
orange color.
What
And-
did this flip a coin? And I've been on that bridge. So, and it's just, it's
You know how
red.
many people
Looks
have
red.
jumped from that bridge
No.
intentionally?
No.
1,500.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
A few lived,
Uh-huh.
a very few. They have got a new suicide prevention net that is supposed to be done about now
Mhm.
to span the entire length of it. 11 people died during the construction phase for 4 years.
Wow. I'm surprised only 11.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was too.
yeah.
They had on the other bridge, goes over to, I forgot what the bay, the other bay. They built a few years earlier.
Mhm.
They had 28 people to die on that during the construction. Smaller bridge too.
Mm.
But the folks here, and 10 of those 11 who died in one mishap.
Oh, wow.
They had a platform underneath they were working on.
Mhm.
And even though they had a net there to catch people, it collapsed. And they all 10 people went down through the netting, tore the net.
Well, I think it's amazing how back then, when they built that bridge, they built it, putting it in the water. I mean, technology then was far less superior than it is now.
Maybe.
It's amazing. Well, that's true too. You know
Think
what?
about
Good
it.
point. It's very cool how they did
Yeah,
that.
it is. And,
Just like it's cool how they built pyramids, but that's a whole nother topic.
yeah,
But
well, those were built by aliens
okay.
when they landed here.
Okay.
All right.
Aliens. Wow.
Let's see. First of all, I'll do some sort of soft news. Any registered and eligible North Carolina voter, you can now request an absentee ballot for the 2024 primary election here in North Carolina. You can do it online. The North Carolina absentee ballot portal. That's at just go votebymail.ncsbe. That's North Carolina State Board of Elections.gov. Votebymail.ncsbe.gov, just in case you think you may not be available during the primary to vote. You can go ahead and get your absentee ballot now. It's the simplest, most efficient, most accessible way to request an absentee ballot in North Carolina is to go online.
Okay.
You can also, if you're going to request one, you can mail it or drop it off a paper request form for an absentee ballot to the County Board of Elections where you live. You can do that as well. The deadline to request this absentee ballot for the March 5th primary is 5 o'clock on Tuesday, the 27th of February. Wait until after that, you're not going to get it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
It might be beneficial for those that like to wait till the last day to vote.
County boards of elections will begin mailing ballots to voters who have requested them on Friday, January 19th. That's coming up right around the corner. So if you request one between now and then, you'll likely get it in the mail sometime after the 19th of January. Yep. Don't forget you got to leave time to get the mail.
Right.
So don't wait till the last minute to do this.
That's right.
Okay, a second person has been arrested in connection with the shooting deaths of two teenagers Wednesday afternoon. He's 17 years old and he's in custody. He faces a variety of charges, including murder and armed robbery. The latest person arrested has not been identified, presumably because of his age. 2 people were killed. A third is in the hospital, and now 2 people are in jail on murder charges. Investigators describe it as a drug deal becoming an armed robbery. On Wednesday, the shooting was reported outside the 53 Mini Mart and Tobacco Shop. That's located on the Burgaw Highway in the 3400 block. Responding deputies found one dead person lying in the parking lot with gunshot wounds. A second victim found dead in the car in the parking lot. The third victim was found and transported to the U.S. Naval Hospital at Lejeune, the trauma center there, because Onslow doesn't have one. He's in stable condition at last report. The investigation indicates that the incident was an apparent drug deal turned robbery. Several handguns were recovered from the scene. One of the guns was reported stolen earlier. Go figure.
Yeah.
The victims, I was shocked and dismayed. The victims include 18-year-old Christian Peterson, lived on Ernest Gorganis Road, and Caleb Bostic, he's 19 years old, of Maynard Boulevard, both here in Jacksonville. The second guy arrested, of course, he's 17, like I said. The first guy that we can identify who's under arrest, 20-year-old Wally Shamir Johnson of South Cedar Trail. That's in Hubert. He is in custody and charged with an open count of murder, robbery with a firearm, and conspiring to commit robbery. Now, let me tell you a little bit more. Wally has been convicted in Onslow Superior Court on 4 felony counts in his 20 youthful years on earth. He was sentenced in Onslow Superior Court to 3.5 years in prison. His total time in prison? A big fat goose egg.
Wow.
He was given a suspended sentence.
Who was the judge that did
I don't
that?
know yet. I haven't checked that out
Let's
yet.
find out who that was. This is what, I mean, we're going to have to start putting the blame on these judges because that's where it lies.
Good old Wally was convicted twice of receiving and possessing a gun, a felony, possession of drugs with the intent to sell, a felony, and the best one, intimidating a witness who was going to testify against him, another felony.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thug.
And his problem has not expired. His probation has not expired. He's still on probation. So much for the judicial system. 2 dead teenagers, yes, likely involved in a drug deal gone bad, but if just been in prison where he belonged, this whole thing would not happen. Time that we, the voters, make sure that the judges we elect that enforce the laws of this state. If they let thugs like Wally play the system, then they must be replaced. And no, not yet. I have not yet checked to see who handled Wally's case, but it is public record. You can check the records of judges, district attorneys, and let their records be your voter's guide.
I agree. I mean, and for some of the people running for judge this time, they're running unopposed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this
Too
is
bad.
where some of the lawyers need to start stepping up and running against some of the other ones. Look at these voting records, and you can start pointing out voting records if you're running against someone. You could win based on you highlighting the record of crap like this.
Yeah, I
Bottom
think so.
line.
Well, I'd like to see the whole story.
What
To
do you
determine
mean
why.
whole story?
I mean, I would like to see exactly what happened in court. Were
Yep.
there mitigating circumstances that we
There's
don't know
no way
about
there
it?
could be mitigating circumstances
Well, I
under those
can't see a
previous
judge
charges.
He was,
just
he was
letting
found
somebody-
guilty.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was found guilty.
And he should have done the time,
Mhm.
but there's something there.
A
And I'd
lot of
like
these
to
judges
know.
are soft.
Something wrong.
I've
Don't know
seen
what
it.
it is. Something
Yeah.
wrong. All right. Back in November, an Onslow County man was killed when he was struck by a car on Highway 258 near Hickory Drive. 63-year-old Gary Danny Patrick, I think maybe, was pushing a bicycle across the road about 7:30 p.m. on November 13th. The driver did not stop, and the highway patrol was looking for the car and driver. The vehicle could be a Hyundai SUV, silver or gray in color. If you have anything that could help in this case, please contact the Jacksonville office of the North Carolina Highway Patrol.
How could somebody have that on their conscience and not? I mean, that
There are
just,
people that have
I
no
know.
conscience.
I deal with
That's
them all the
right.
time. I get it. I don't understand it.
I don't get it either, but that's the way it is. Coming up this morning, 7:30, we've got a special guest.
Yes, he's the longtime Onslow County educator, Homer Spring. He's
Mhm.
coming in. He heard our discussion earlier in the week about math, Common
So-
Core.
He's giving
Hey, he's coming into school.
he's giving
Weird.
Kelly a test.
Well, Kelly's not going to. I got to go leave for like a
That's
half
why.
hour. Yeah.
That's what.
I mean,
now I know
this guy
why you
should
gotta
change
leave.
his time. I forgot why he was coming. I thought he was coming for another reason. I forgot about the whole math thing.
Yeah.
I'll speed it up. I'll put Jack in his little harness and get him there, dropped off real quick, and get back. Take my math test.
Doesn't
and
he
I'll
know the way
publicly
there?
fail.
I bet he knows how to get there.
Get Robin's butt up. Tell him to go do it. Oh, that's right. He can't get the harness on, can
Yeah,
he?
right, yeah. I have to put Jack's not a fan of his harness.
Oh, we got a little visitor.
Oh, yes, we do.
Little reptile.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little
Yeah.
reptile.
They come in and eat the bugs.
Yeah, hey,
It's
I'm all
cold
for that.
outside.
Yeah.
He's coming here where it's warm.
Let's take a break, do a little bit of weather, and then we'll be back on the flip side. We'll have time for a phone call or two if you want to before Homer gets here. So our number is 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME World, WSME971.com.
Hey, this is Chris Rainer, your host for Sports Talk. We welcome in Marisa Reeder and Scott Smith from the Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission. We'll be talking about upcoming events with the Sports Commission, and we'll see you on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Is your phone plan messing with your savings plan? Don't get stuck paying for things you don't want. With Verizon, you only pay for what you need. And for a limited time, when you bring your own phones to a Verizon store, you'll get an amazing price on your plan. Plus, you'll save on things you actually love, like the Netflix and Max with Ads bundle. And it's on our award-winning 5G network. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today for an incredible deal. A better plan to save is Verizon. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team. Serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning. And now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Hey, want some stocking stuffers for next year. They could have changed that name. That's just not right. Stocking stuffers for next Christmas. How about some nautical decorations for your tree? Robbie has 2 trees every year, the normal 8-footer, and then she has a 4-foot tabletop tree she calls the beach tree because it's decorated with seasonal ornaments. It's like Santa fishing lures, diving types of ornaments, all sorts of cool stuff that reflects us. Maybe you should try something like that. A great time to start collecting those ornaments is now at Tideline Marine until 2 p.m. on Saturday the 13th, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. You can buy any Christmas anything, and you'll get another Christmas anything of equal or lower price absolutely free, no strings attached. And while Tideline still has several boats in stock at 2023 prices, you might want to take a drive to downtown Jacksonville to check them out. When those boats in stock are gone, so will be last year's prices. In case you haven't noticed, manufacturers of almost everything have increased their prices. They're going to continue doing that. The same thing will apply to new boats, motors, when the current stock is gone. Don't even ask how much. No, we don't know yet. I don't blame Tideline or other dealers. They're on the receiving end of the price increases. If you're even thinking of buying a new boat, motor, or trailer, you might not want to wait any longer. Tideline Marines at 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Offshore today, northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, diminishing to 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Dominant period 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop later this afternoon. Tomorrow, southeasterly winds, 20 to 25 knots, gust to 35, seas 3 to 5. They're going to get bigger, 7 to 10 in the afternoon. Near shore, seas 2 to 4, building to 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers are going to be rough tomorrow. Westerly winds on Sunday, 15 to 20, with gusts up to 25, seas 4 to 6 feet. Sounds and rivers are going to be pretty choppy.
Today it'll be sunny, high of 49. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of right around 33, so right around the freezing mark. Tomorrow it's going to rain. It's 100% chance of rain. We're going to have winds of 8 to 16 miles an hour, but the gusts could be as high as almost 30 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, the rain should end, and it will be mostly cloudy, a low of 40, but still gusty. And on Sunday, it will be mostly sunny, a high of 58, but gusts as high as 22 miles an hour. And then Sunday night's just going to be freezing, 32. Chilly.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly
Yep.
again.
Chilly.
Maybe I'll make some chili today. That might be
You
good
know
tonight.
what?
Good weather for it.
It'd be wonderful weather.
I might do that.
A former North Carolina man who's moved to South Carolina has been arrested this week for murder that happened more than 13 years ago in Carteret County.
Oh.
Robert Eiscant of Mount Pleasant, that's near Charleston, was arrested by the Charleston County Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Marshal Service. Carteret County deputies say Eiscant and Johnny Salter were neighbors in Atlantic back in 2010. The 41-year-old Salter was found dead in his Ross Lane home on December 11th, 2010, after being shot twice. Deputies say the two men got into an argument just hours before Salter was found dead. They have not said yet what led them to make the arrest this week. He's in a South Carolina jailhouse without bond, awaiting a hearing to return him to North Carolina to face the murder charge. Cold case. I wonder how he managed to escape custody, to just vanish.
Right.
Because it seems like they had enough information on him.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah, but they finally located him, and he's going to the big house now.
That's great.
Well,
It's about time.
we didn't talk about the shooting in Iowa yesterday.
No, didn't get to it.
No, because that happened after the show went on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the news broke afterwards.
we have a call.
That was really sad.
Very. And it,
Good morning, Timmy. How are you?
What's up this morning, Big Rafe, and all of the in-house chronicles this morning? I've got a New Year's question.
Shoot.
For, especially Kelly.
oh, Lord. Okay, go for it. What is it?
Have you took your tree down yet?
Yes,
See, you backed up on me.
I did.
Robin, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I tried.
Yeah, I took it down. There was a couple of reasons, but yes. One of them because
Okay.
yeah, and in the living room, because I had two trees up in the living room, which was the real big fluffy tree, what I call the main tree. I had to move. That's where I keep all my exercise equipment now. It's where my sauna is and everything.
Oh.
And Mom rides a recumbent bike, and I had to move it, and it was difficult because the tree is where the bike had been.
Uh-huh.
So I had to take the tree down to put the bike back where Mom could access it. So then, yeah. So that's the only reason why. But I'm pondering how to make this a year-round thing. I just gotta do some furniture moving.
No, I guess Robin's gonna have to get off the hip a little bit and build you an exercise room on that house. You know, I think that would be nice.
I think it'd be better to go ahead and find your piece of property and build your house from scratch the way you want
Oh,
it.
I have it drawn out in my head. Yeah.
Well,
But
we can't read
But
that.
all I did was I converted my former living room, the room that no one ever used, to my workout room.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a sauna in there and all the
understand.
workout equipment. I like it. But the tree, I had to move things, but I'm working on it, Tim. We're getting a stair lift put in for Mom. So I'm having to rent,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm having to do some stuff, but yeah, I'll figure it out. I will have a year-round tree eventually, though.
Well, I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
I really am. I was just hoping, you know, I'm trying to keep that tradition alive.
Yeah. Oh, don't you
because,
worry.
I want Diane to take hers down because that means more work from me.
Well, I've had a few clients recently that talked about they do year-round trees and they already decorating because they did their January look. They took all the Christmassy stuff off and made it wintry.
I have 2 trees in
Yeah.
my living room.
And
They're just
She doesn't take
branches
it.
and
She likes to celebrate. You know,
I like
she likes
that.
the Christmas. I mean,
Well,
it was a bad Christmas for us this year. We were all sick.
Yeah, you
We
were
didn't-
sick. Yeah.
We finally didn't do Christmas till New Year's Day.
Mhm.
Now,
And,
that works.
We got. Oh yeah.
You've
It
still
wasn't
got
bad. I
today.
still raped
So today or tomorrow, it varies from year to year. When you have old Christmas,
tomorrow.
I think
Yeah,
it's
old
tomorrow.
timey Christmas. That's what Mama called it. But,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. But no, that was my question. I'm
That-
sorry,
yeah.
Robin. I was trying to help you, buddy.
Well, he's glad because he didn't want it up all year round. So
He didn't.
no.
That's what old fuddy duddy. That's an aging Cajun for you.
Yeah,
That's just
yep.
what that is. I mean, that was cute. Y'all had the collard green, and y'all had collard green and aging Cajun there the other day at Commissioner's Point. And I didn't get to hear all of it because I was busy, but I enjoyed what little bit I heard.
Well, you can go back and listen.
that-
2 good commissioners.
Mhm.
Well, I did. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I did that night. I listened to some of it, then I got busy and with other stuff. So I said, well, I'll just listen to it later. But I just want to say hey to y'all. Raper get better. I'm still drinking liquor at night, so it really helps me out.
Well, I'm gonna be calling you when it
Well,
warms up, so I can come to the
Do what?
farm. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll do it on a Sunday.
All right.
I know you're home then.
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, I'm home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
maybe we just
Yeah,
make a
I'll
trip
probably
out
be
there,
on.
Yeah.
all three
So
of us.
I just
We
want it to be a
should.
little
Yeah.
warmer. It's just been too
Love
cold.
to have you.
Yeah. So I'll give you a
But
shout.
I'll see y'all.
Okay,
I'll see y'all later. Y'all be sweet.
Okay.
keep it between the dishes.
All right.
Bye.
Oh wait. Yeah. All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye. And we have, just as promised, special
Yes.
guest in the studio this morning.
Homer Spring.
Good morning,
Live
sir. How are
from-
you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Mhm.
An educator.
Yes.
Guilty
He's,
as charged.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
and how long did you say you've been doing it?
I taught at Dixon High School for 34 years.
Goodness gracious.
Retired. Spent a year in seclusion. North Carolina retirement was good.
Right.
And then I started a part-time job at Infinite Prague Catholic
Oh, good.
School.
Huh?
That led to a 5-hour a day part-time job at Infinite Prague Catholic School.
Absolutely perfect.
Nothing wrong.
Now,
Teacher heaven.
I got a test for you. You're a math genius, right?
Okay.
wow.
Here we go with the
There is a
upstairs.
mathematical relationship in this series of numbers, but you got to think out of the box. It's not the mathematical relationship you would think. Fill in the blank, if you would.
Oh my gosh.
I'll pass it to him because
All right.
E or N? They look like your age.
I looked at that when he was writing it and had no clue where Rayford's going with that.
You'll hate yourself in the morning.
I know.
I hate
you
myself
sure?
right now.
I hate math. So
You got the answer?
Go ahead.
I've had 2 people to give me the answer.
Well, they're obviously getting
well, I can.
I've
tell you.
had engineers not to get it.
well.
I hope that's the only one you know.
I'm gonna tell you. I know. I don't know it.
Look at the first number.
Okay.
7 times 7 is what?
Okay. It's 49.
4 times 9 is 36. 3 times 6 is 18.
And next
1 times 8
should
is
be
8.
What's the next number?
Don't have one.
Okay. So it really isn't a continuing sequence. It's just
It ends.
It does end.
what came before 77.
78, but not on that test.
I have a headache
Oh,
already.
I just
I'm
can't.
stressed already.
That is stressing me out.
Oh, goody.
Oh no! Now he's about to start writing.
Here you go. Let me give you a good pen.
Thank you. I like that
I'm
one.
scared.
Oh, he's going to start. Oh, God. Can I go with you? Take Jack
Yeah,
to
you
the
can come with
vet?
me and take Jack to the vet. Yeah.
That was just a little I used to give it to future employees when I hired them.
Oh no.
What
It's
in
showing
the world?
What's the next letter in that sequence?
I need a BC.
I need a drink. What is
Rayford,
happening right now?
Rayford's going to get it because I've listened. When he was doing the math, I'm going like, Rayford,
I know
you're
when
pretty
he
good.
starts doing that, I just sit here quiet.
I'm just looking. My dad was into stuff like this, but I'm just looking like perplexed. I feel real stupid right now, just so you know.
No,
I would say E.
Okay,
should be the obvious.
A lot of my students will say that.
Yep.
And what I do usually
But
is
the first one and then the last letter that you got listed here is different. Yes.
Let me tell you what he gave Rayford. So he wrote these letters
Yes.
on a piece of paper. It's O
I'm assuming that's an O and not a zero. O
O-T-T,
T T F F S S and E, then a blank.
Well, what's the next letter?
Looks like my grocery list.
okay, how many letters are there?
1, 2,
8.
4,
8.
6.
Are you
8.
sure?
8 letters.
Count
7 if that's a zero.
Well,
No.
Oh,
they're letters.
9.
Would you count them?
5.
Would you count them? Put your finger on each one and count them. Count them out loud.
1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Keep going.
6, counting the blank
Keep
letter.
going.
Huh?
You see the pattern now?
Not really.
No.
I do numbers.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't even see it from here.
Here, I don't see anything but a bunch of letters and a blank.
Typically, when we put it up on the board,
Oh,
somebody will go
TT.
up
SS.
and as they point to each letter,
Should it be EE?
and they count. Let's do it slowly.
All right.
1,
Uh-huh.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How'd you get 5?
Because I wasn't counting the double letters.
Oh.
I counted as he was just counting.
9. The next letter's in. First letter of each number.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But the reason they have trouble with that, and this I explained to my students, the reason you have trouble with that is that naturally we want to think of numbers as just numbers, and we think of letters as just letters.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like putting them together. I had a
Code breakers do it.
yeah, exactly.
I could never be a code
It's
breaker.
exactly the way
I
they
love
do
code
broken.
breakers.
I'm broken already.
I've got a headache.
Remember the movie Christmas Story,
Yes.
Right.
and Ralphie would run to he'd listen to the Orphan Annie
Yeah.
radio show, and
Mhm.
he'd get out his decoder.
And they
And-
would start doing it. Yeah.
And it would be a commercial for Ovaltine,
Mhm.
but I actually bought one of those at a toy show
Did
the
you?
other day from 1936.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a little dial, and you turn it, and
Yeah.
you set the code, and on the radio show, you get the code, and then you decipher it.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, Science Olympiad for middle school and high school, they have an event called Code Breakers, where the students will learn on their own,
Mhm.
and they'll learn all the different kinds of codes and different ways that codes were done. And
I've watched some guys sit back and break codes, but in another life. They were pretty cool.
Those
I knew
guys are
Morse
awesome. I
code
have-
at one time. That's the only code I knew.
I know Morse code.
Yes.
I had to have it.
Right.
Did you know semaphore?
I tried that.
I don't even know what that is.
It's when you're in scouts, it was
Mhm.
with flags.
Oh, okay.
And you
When,
help-
when you're in the Coast Guard or Navy, you do
Uh-huh.
it as well because they keep radio silence, or they used to
Well,
have
that
to
makes
keep radio
sense, yeah.
silence, and they would signal each ship. They had a whole set of flags there.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when nobody was looking, you do this.
Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Jesus fixed this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, the codes are pretty cool.
Yeah.
My mind doesn't go that way.
I had, like I said, I had a carpenter teacher at my school who said I was okay with my ABCs and I was okay with my 1, 2, 3s, but when my 1, 2, 3s became ABC, I had a problem.
That was me.
That's
That
me.
was me right there.
Mhm.
Yes.
That kind of fits me right
Yes,
up front.
totally.
I can handle
Yeah.
that part. Common Core.
I hate Common Core.
I don't know anything about it. What's so common about uncommon about Common Core?
Well, when I told a couple of people that I was coming here, they said, "Are you going to tell them how much you love it?" And I said, "Well, no."
Well, you can
know,
love it all you
You
want.
can
but
tell
I-
them how much you hate it. And I said, "Well, it's not that I hate it. It doesn't impact me because I don't have to teach Common Core." But Shortly after No Child Left Behind, which
Mhm.
was after something else, which
Mhm.
was after something else.
Mhm.
And it was our federal government's, in North Carolina's case, to try to improve math instruction. Um, a group that was basically funded by the Gates Foundation decided that they would make a set of common, which means across everybody, standards that everybody would have to meet. And somehow in there, well, we want you to understand why it works. Well, I know lots of people who drive a car and they put a key in the ignition and to turn it, and that's good.
That's how you make it work.
And they have no idea what goes on inside. Now, does it help to know a little bit about what goes on inside? Like, you got to have gas to make it run. Yeah. Or diesel or electricity, but you don't have to. And so what this Common Core tried to do was they tried to make everybody able to teach children how the math works. And you took a group of, it was actually pushed from a top bottom. So you had people in the textbook companies, and you had college teachers, and you had just one or two teachers that were actually in the trenches that would put this beast together. And then they said, well, now that we got this Common Core done, how are we going to push it out? And I said, well, I know what let's do. Let's dangle some money. And so all these states were dangled money and said, if you want this money, you've got to adopt this Common Core. So a lot of states said, oh yeah, let's do it. Because actually one of the committees was the Council of Governors across the United States. So a lot of them they signed on really quick because I don't know how much our governor knows about math, but I'm pretty sure that he's not been in a math classroom teaching.
I'm guarantee you he hasn't.
And so that's not something against Governor Cooper. It's just that that's not his job.
Right.
Just like my job, I don't teach elementary kids. I've taught as low as 5th grade. And when you start getting below 5th grade and you start having children
changing diapers,
you have children all day, you're sitting there going like, okay, these guys are really great and it's really fun, but after an hour, where's the next bunch?
Yep.
Because I'm used to seeing a different group of students come in all the time. My niece once asked me I was going to help look after her 2-year-old, 5-year-old, and 7-year-old, and after about an hour, I'm ready to do something else.
Trade them in.
Yeah, because I don't see how an elementary teacher can do that in a whole day.
I don't either.
It takes a special person to go from topic to topic. And
I had some good ones,
and I did too.
Our 1st grade teacher was absolutely wonderful.
So if you can imagine, this Common Core was developed from top down and then pushed out in the schools, and you had teachers with very little training. Because you can't just restructure the entire way math's done. And you go, well, okay, maybe we can rely on the textbooks. Well, the textbook companies were part of this beast to start with. And I have textbooks. I told my wife this morning, I said, I've got textbooks that are identical in every single way, except one of them has Common Core stamped on it. So the textbooks companies were complicit in this ruse also, because they said, yeah, we'll give you a textbook Common Core because it'll say Common Core on it, but inside it's the same math you always did. But now these standards come out and elementary teachers have to say, okay, I'm really good at teaching children how to subtract.
We've got a caller. Bill, you got one quick question?
I'm not sure it was a question, but it was listening to your guest is good, and I think what always hit me was my math teachers that I remember the most, in that most of the math teachers made things practical. Like they'd ask one of the students in the class who's worked with their fathers or with other people that were carpenters building houses, that here are the dimensions and how many pieces of plywood would it take to, do the roof. It made us, it gave us always a practical use of what be taught,
I had them the same way. I had some great teachers doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it really stuck with me. And I know some of the like little tricks to math, like the rule of nines. Always a sort of was a little fun game to try to find exceptions to it, etc. We had all the digits 0 to 9, and like 0 and 9 adds up to 9. It's divisible by 9, and anything that adds up to 9 it will be anything divisible by 9 will add up to a number that is divisible by 9. And it was like 1 and 8 adds up to 9. It's divisible by 9. 2 and 7. So you could take 27 or 72. It'll always be divisible by 9. 6 and 3.
Okay.
63.
All right, Bill.
You could add zeros, scramble the numbers.
All right, Bill, we got to take a commercial break.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
You're
Bill.
live and local. Real Talk Freedom 91.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
Hey, let's have a party here this weekend, all right? Yeah! All right, it's the weekly Top 40. This is Rick Dees, and we've got a healthy helping of some hot music, some Dees.
I don't have any
sleaze.
mics.
The weekly Top 40 Challenge has a great prize. This weekend, we've got the hits right here on the weekly Top 40. We'll see you here.
The Week Top 40 80s edition, Sunday night, 6 to 10 on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Flatwoods Outfitters of Hubert looks forward to serving you throughout the new year with all your sporting arm needs and personal safety. Located at 111 Second Amendment Lane in Hubert between Jacksonville and Swansboro, Flatwoods Outfitters is Onslow County's oldest sporting and firearm facility. Flatwoods Outfitters has a long gun or pistol in stock to fit your need, whether for hunting or personal safety. Take advantage of their outdoor shooting range to practice or to learn how to safely operate your firearm, which Flatwoods highly recommends. At Flatwoods, you can sight in your scope to be sure of perfect accuracy to bag that trophy. They carry all the major brand names of long guns, shotguns, and pistols, as well as ammunition. If you are interested in a concealed weapon permit, Flatwoods Outfitters can assist with that also. Flatwoods Outfitters, 111 Second Amendment Lane, just off Highway 24 in Hubert, where they aim to preserve our hunting heritage, wildlife, and Constitution.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, and we're back. And in the studio with us is Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. We got a message during the break that at one time in the Daily News you were listed as Homer Simpson by mistake, of course.
I once received a package back in the early 80s. My guidance counselor's last name was Simpson. And it was misaddressed to both of us, and it was Homer Simpson. And this was before the Simpsons ever came.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I didn't save that. I should have saved it.
You should have saved it.
Shame on you, Chris Miller.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, my first year algebra teacher in high school was Mrs. Hardison. I don't know whether you remember her or not.
Yep.
But she was a great teacher. She was a kid teacher, a student type person. She liked students. You had to change classrooms, and in the wintertime, during the break, changing classrooms, you know the people gonna come in and they're cold, especially when they have to go from that far building on the other end of Jacksonville High campus all the way up to building 1 where she was. And she turned the heat up during the break to get it very warm in there. So when we arrived, that place was toasty. Then she'd drop it back down to normal range. But that's the kind of caring person that she was.
That's nice.
And she's the one that she gave me grief when I started playing with algebra. Because I had actually been playing with it for quite a few years at that time, because I was a ham radio guy, and to get a ham radio license, you have to know algebra. because there's a thing called Ohm's law in there that's on the test. And you've got to be able to figure out the missing components, the value of.
What?
P is equal to I times
For
R.
a ham radio license?
Yeah.
I'm going to flunk.
For the technician class, you don't have to do that.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to be a technician.
So, but anyway, so I would just look at the problem and take it home for homework, and I come back, just give her the answer. I did not show her the steps that I went to get there.
Yep.
And she said, you can't do that. I said, well, this is the way I see it. I can see it. I visualize it. She said, go to the board. And she put the list, I think 20 questions up there, 20 math. She said, show me the steps for all of these. And I did. Took forever. But I showed her the steps. She said, okay, well, you can just do it your way. So I know the process. I just can usually visualize it.
I'm always very interested to know when a student has thought that they've come up with a shortcut or a step or a process for doing a problem. Even as early as yesterday. Yesterday, some of the warm-up questions that I gave my class, one of them was a division of by fractions. It was 6 divided by 2/3.
Yeah, I can do that.
And most people were taught to take the 6 and write it as 6 over 1 and to change the division to multiplication.
Right.
And flip the 2/3.
Right.
And they've got little gimmicks for it. They call it keep, flip, change, and keep, change, flip. And those are just ways how to do a problem.
Sure.
But this one student said, well, I'm just going to numerator and then multiply by the denominator.
That's the way I learned. Yes.
I said, and that's what he had learned.
Right.
That's the way I learned it too.
And so we had to, in the geometry class we had, I said, well, we know it works because we've seen it works. We've seen it work. But the question is, can you prove it works all the time? And showing something and proving something are different things. Showing means you just pick out some examples and show that it works. Proving means that you take algebra or variables and put them in place of the numbers and show, and through the algebra, you show that the answer is actually the same in both cases. And you can. And that's one of the reasons why we introduce algebra we introduce algebra concepts, I do at least, in 5th grade. And they're very simple, and a lot of them are just very simple solving equations. And you can do a lot of them in your head. And early on, and I tell them, I said, look, we want to make sure you can not go crazy with this, and you can probably guess the answer and see if it works to start with. And so a lot of the answers are whole numbers, and then we progress to decimals, and then we progress to fractions, then we progress to positive and negative numbers. And it always helps to be able to apply what you're doing.
Sure.
Like when we do place value, and that's really what most of the problems in Common Core that people have are because they don't know place value very well. They just think, well, the numbers are in a string, and that's why they're in a string. Like they don't know why when we do our multiplication, our multi-step multiplication, they don't know why we put zeros in those partial products. Right. And every time we do that, I'll go, in my class, I go, okay, are you a zero person or are you an indent person? Because when I learned it, we didn't put a zero there. We just slid it over 1.
Right.
And the kids are going like, well, why didn't you put a zero there? And I go, because you don't need it. It's nothing. It's not going to make anything. They go, but I want the 0. And I go, okay, so you're a 0 person, but I still have one person in class who's a slide it over person. I say, okay, so I'll ask, I say, are you a 0 person or are you an indent person? Because it's sort of a reverse indentation from English. But say we're talking place value. I always, you love to find things that people have. So in place value, sometimes I'll pull out some Zimbabwe money.
Okay.
And see the zeros, and then you look at the place values.
Right.
And then you got $10,000.
Right.
In Zimbabwe money. And then you got 20,000.
Can we spend that?
Yes, but
then you got 50,000.
Wow.
And then you got 500,000. You might buy a car with that. You got $1 million. Inflation in Zimbabwe was really bad. And you got
50 million.
Yes. And then you've got 100 million.
Right.
And what comes after million?
Trillion.
Trillion. Oh, I'll take that one.
200
billions.
This is 200 million.
Oh,
This
billions.
is
I'm sorry,
500
billions
million.
and trillions.
Oh, then they need $1 billion bill.
Wow.
And so the kids are going like, and this was actually a $1 billion bill.
Right.
Legal tender wouldn't buy much. I think they said at one time it would buy maybe a pair of blue jeans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of like first time I went to Jamaica. I was in the grill and you exchange real dollars, U.S. dollars for Jamaican dollars, right? And $1 US would get you at that time 14 Jamaican dollars.
Wow.
Then the next time I went a year later, the rate was 20 to 1. The exchange rate was 20 to 1. I have no idea what it is
There's
now.
10 trillion.
Hey, can we pay off our debt with
No.
this? Oh, rats.
No, it's 33 trillion now.
Well, wait, three of these, but they love seeing that because they usually don't see anything other than U.S. dollars, and
Right.
even then they usually don't see anything more than a $20 or $50 bill. But
Yeah.
in Zimbabwe, eventually, just at the time they were having this inflation, they just basically gave up and said our money's not worth anything now. So then they would use either Cougarans from South Africa, or they'd use U.S. dollars.
So many places have switched over to U.S. dollars. So, like Bonaire, where I go down there in the Dutch Caribbean, they were guilders forever. And then the last 10 years or so, it's U.S. dollars. That's what they do. Don't have to bother to change it. Do any exchanging.
Yeah. Every time I go, when I go in a bathroom and I see a sign that says, "Don't flush anything but toilet paper," I'm reminded of in Zimbabwe, they had a sign that said, "Do not flush dollars."
Wow.
Because I told the students at one time, toilet paper cost $3,000
Oh.
a square.
Ouch. Let's take a break. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843. Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back in here. We have a great guest today, and he's a very brilliant man. I will tell you that right now.
Brilliant.
Homer Spring, school teacher forever. How long total? I know for 34 years.
This is my 46th year.
Wow.
My license is good until I'm 103.
Good.
Wow.
then you ought to give it up about that time.
Maybe if I'm still, I'm going to have.
You can volunteer.
I'm going to have my other knee replaced, so
I got to do one of those
two
too.
Knees.
Now, you're a lifelong resident of Monson County, correct?
I went to White Oak High School, so
White
my
Oak. You
math
went to White
teacher.
Oak.
I was fortunate that my high school math teacher was the same teacher for 3 courses, and she was wonderful, and she did a very good job. She didn't make me hate math, and she gave me perks along the way. Like I was a careless math student sometimes, and I would turn in my test in 9th grade, and it would have careless mistakes like 2 times 3 is 5 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a hurry to get cookies if you got done first. So she would say, well, Homer, you need to check your work. I go, I don't want to check my work. She said, well, I tell you what, if you'll check your work for me twice, I will let you doing work in groups or work in individual work. I will let you get up and help anyone who raises their hand. And back then, being able to get out of your seat was oh boy.
Sure.
So I was like a teacher, and I would get up. I'd be able to get up and go help somebody. And that was one of the ways it started me on a career of teaching, because even as a freshman, I was used to helping people, guiding them, not just saying, okay, the answer's 5. Oh, that doesn't do me any good. I want to know why the answer's 5. And I could say, well, what do you think the answer should be? Does it work? If it doesn't work, can you adjust it? And this is what we don't always have in elementary grades, because they're not math majors. They're not supposed to be math majors. And what we've done is we pushed some algebra concepts and some geometry concepts that, quite honestly, don't have to be pushed that far down, but it makes them feel a little uneasy and uncomfortable. They don't have a textbook that they can count on, and they don't. They just don't. They just do what they think is good.
Let's go back to that 6 and 8 feet on the sideline. Okay. I know what it is. It's a right angle you're working on.
It's Pythagoras' theorem.
Yep. And 6 times 6 is 36, and 8 times 8 is
64.
And what is that measurement across the side?
It's got to be 10.
It's 10, because 10 times 10 is 100, as is the sum of the 2 products on the other side.
Correct.
Oh, God.
And and that guarantees you have a right angle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Pythagoras' theorem, as I've just finished telling my geometry class, so they better know when I get back to Pythagoras' theorem has 2 parts. One part tells you how to find missing sides of a right triangle, and a lot of people use that. The other part tells you that if you give me these 3 sides, does it make a right triangle? So if you give me 6, 8, and 10, does it make a right triangle? And the answer is yes. If you give me 3, 4, and 5, does it make a right triangle? The answer is yes. If you give me 5, 12, and 13, does it give me a right triangle? And the answer is yes. But
6 and 8 are easy to remember.
And large enough to make an impact on the square.
That's right. Because you could take a line, or if you're drawing it out, you could just use a square and do that on paper. Or if it's on a ball field, you can just run a piece of string from that pole straight down, and you got if the 2 points line up, you're good to go.
We ran a lot of string in my days at Dixon. Always had a good big ball of string that we could use to make our lines as straight as possible, and to make sure we had right angles in the corners.
Yep.
Baseball and softball, sort of the same way, but we would use a property of squares, because the baseball is a square. They call it a diamond, but it's a square, and it's 90 feet, and the diagonals have to be the same. If they're not, your square is
not a square.
It's just a rhombus, not a square. And so by making sure those diagonals are the same, you've made your baseball field truly a square instead of a diamond, which makes a difference when you play on it.
I certainly hope they're teaching all of this today in Common Core.
If they're comfortable with it. And really what I try to stress to teachers when I did staff development was go out and look and find things and see things and try to notice things and say, this is the connection. Because I used to have a practice that with my kids, I would say, okay, I want you to take a piece of paper out, or I give them a card and say, I want you to think real hard. Everybody always tells you that math is good for this, math's good for that, and I'm always going to trying to tell you where I saw math, because they think I'm strange. But I said, what I want you to do on this card now is I want you to think of something that doesn't involve math. And it really stresses them out to think of something that doesn't involve math.
Go tell the music student that math is not.
I was just thinking sewing. No, you use math there.
Store.
You use it in the grocery store. Yes. The lumber yard. You know, whenever I'm getting ready to do a project, I have to do my measurements. And
I've got a 5x8 trailer, utility trailer out there with sides that are about 18 inches high. I need to know how much firewood I can stack in that thing today by cubic feet. I've already figured it out.
Did you change your inches, your 18 inches
Of
to 1.5?
course.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.5.
And again, this is what we tell students about when you're trying to find
right.
measures of volume, that you got to have the same unit.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't. And for example, when we're pouring concrete for a driveway, I go, well, that's usually sold in cubic yards.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're done measuring, you get cubic feet, and you go like, well, this is going to help me. Yeah.
But then in practicality, when you're pouring a driveway or a sidewalk or anything else, or a foundation or even a floor, your edges are going to be a little bit deeper. So concrete will be thicker on the edges. Let's take a break and do some Fox News. You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Family and friends of a school shooter in Perry, Iowa say he'd been bullied for years and no one at the school helped.
4 students and the principal injured. A 6th grade boy who was inside the high school was killed. The gunman, a 17-year-old senior at the school who was armed with a shotgun and a handgun, killed himself.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. An Air Force B-1 bomber crashed at Ellsworth Air Base in South Dakota.
The bomber crashed while landing at the air base. The Air Force says the 4 crew members were able to safely eject. No word on whether any of them was injured. The Air Force says the bomber was on a training mission when it crashed. The cause will be determined by a board of officers.
Fox's Gary Baumgarten. Winter storm alerts in effect from North Carolina to Maine. Travel could be dangerous this weekend due to snow, ice, heavy rain, and wind. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
Okay, and Homer, he's got to actually go to work, you know. There's something about it's not work.
No, sir. It's just me teaching and having a great time.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. That's what we consider the radio business is not work.
That's right. And we got talking about this earlier in the week on the radio about, like, I felt like at the time that I had to take algebra and geometry was a loss for me because I've never used it since then. But you said you were going to point out some things to prove me wrong.
Well, we were talking about the things that we did on athletic fields to show we use geometry and the 6/8 triangle that we use for Pythagoras' theorem. We use it. We know it works, but a lot of people don't know what it's called. They just know it works. So when you fill up your gas, when you one of those gasoline in my car, people, that the number of gallons you put in the gas affects in the car affects how much you pay.
Right.
But if you only had $10, could you figure out how many gallons to put in, or you just trust the machine to?
You know, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes. And then like when you want to get your mileage, what kind of mileage you're getting out of that tank of gas, I know how to do that.
Well, when we're looking for explanations or connections, students in my class, I said, well, your parents will automatically realize that if you don't buy any gas, you don't pay any money.
Right.
You buy 1 gallon of gas at $3, you're paying $3. You buy 10 gallons, you're paying $30. I said, that is a linear equation. That is an algebra linear equation. And as a linear equation, it has a y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis, and that's 0 because if you don't buy any gas, you don't pay any money. But the cost of the gas is what cost per gallon is what in lines we call it the slope. And so when you see the gas price and you go to your parents, you go, hey, look, the slope is 3. And they go like, what do you mean? He goes, well, that linear equation has a slope of 3. So when the slope goes up,
the price goes up.
The price goes up, or if it goes down. But even something as simple as the light in my living room, it has 4 bulbs,
Mhm.
and one of the bulbs burned out.
Mhm.
So my room was 25%, had 25% less light.
Right. Right. I get that. Yes.
But wait, when I put the bulb back in, right? When I get a bulb, put it back in, it's now 33% brighter.
Yep.
True. True. I see that. Okay.
So where's the
God, I'm
8%?
smarter than I thought.
You are. You've done a great job.
You use it.
And I do hate to
use it.
take off, but I did promise my principal that I'd get there before my class, and I've already timed myself, and I know it takes about 12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
to get
right.
back.
Well, drive
Thank you for coming
careful.
in.
I've
It
given
was
you presents.
interesting.
It's been a pleasure, and thanks for the gift.
Yes.
You've got my
Yeah,
number.
thank
If you
you.
need to ask me a
Yes.
question, or I
Yeah.
can point you to a website. And that's really what I do for a lot of students and
Right.
parents. I'll say, go to Mathopolis website, mathopolis.com, and they will have examples and
Who
they'll
would have
have
thought?
work that you can actually
Cool.
follow in
Excellent.
real
That was great.
language. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Homer, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure, an
Thank-
absolute pleasure.
I
My
almost,
pleasure, totally.
I almost feel smarter than a 5th grader.
You are. Because you're out there in the real world.
There you
And
go.
whereas I tell my students, I said, I want you to get a job that makes a lot of money.
Mhm.
They go, why? I go, because I want you to pay into Social Security so I'll have some.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You won't have any, but I will.
Well, my advice to all these smart kids out there today who think they're so smart, quit school, get a job now while you still know everything.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, Homer. It was great. It was fun.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, it was fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And math can be fun, challenging, but fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Just make sure to
I
get
just
clues.
didn't really realize how much we actually use it. And when he said, think of something that doesn't involve math,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there thinking, even driving a car.
Oh, absolutely. There's lots of math. Oh, time and distance,
Yes.
I got to get from here to Charlotte. It's 200
Well,
miles.
that's like
and
he just said.
what kind of speed do I have to average to get there in 4 hours?
He had already timed his trip from here to Infinite Pride
Yep.
at 12 minutes.
Mhm.
See, so
I used
that
to-
was interesting.
I used to do that when I would go
We got
out
a
and
present
check
for
and
you.
be sure
Oh,
before a tournament, fishing tournament, know where the weigh station was, what time I had to be there, and what time I had to leave the fishing grounds to get there. And we worked that out in a
Right,
heartbeat.
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like your stopping distance. If you're on the road, your following distance
Mhm.
and your stopping distance, your braking distance. so
Then you
to
got to
say.
get your reaction time. And
That's
that,
right.
Yeah, that
So
reaction
I
time's going to
think
get you into trouble.
he really opened up a lot of thought because he's right. He says, think of something you do that doesn't involve math, and I'm thinking, okay, sewing. No, you have to measure. How about watching TV?
That's not doing something.
Yeah, that's true. That's not. Trying to think of something.
Well, it is doing some when you're trying to figure out from your choice of shows.
That's right.
You know. I was listening the whole way, by the way. Yeah,
He's a smart guy.
You're
He's
very.
He's got to be a great teacher
Absolutely.
and make
Because
me want
he's
to go back to
patient.
school.
Yeah.
I just got to.
Oh,
Can
great.
be no worse than that nonsense.
A good one before you got here this morning.
I bet you
it
did.
involved an
yeah.
Irishman.
Yeah, I thing in the morning. I'm like,
According
But
to
it
the
was
North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, high volumes of people are being seen in hospital ERs with respiratory illness symptoms across the state.
Mhm.
Who ECU Health Associate Medical Director of Infection Prevention, Dr. Ryan Gallagher. I'd hate to have that title. ECU Health Associate Medical Director of Infection Prevention. Whew. Anyway, he says among those patients, record numbers are being diagnosed with the flu, with the addition that there are still other respiratory viruses. Flu is the leading bad guy right now, he said. But there are other viruses, including COVID and RSV, that are still getting people very sick to have to go to the ER.
Oof.
Many of them are being admitted. Right now, flu is taking the cake. Whew, 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 whew. And the problem with having to go to even to a doctor with flu-like symptoms or whatever other kind of symptoms you've got, you're sitting in a waiting room with other sick people
with sick people.
or people that are well. You just never know what's awaiting you in a doctor's office or in the emergency room.
Some of the doctors are making you wait outside to be
Yes.
tested. They won't let you
Well,
come in. If you're like, I think I have the flu, and they're like, don't even come in.
Oh,
We're
really?
testing you outside.
Hmm.
Yeah. I know our doctor does outside tests.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah, they say it's really, the numbers are really climbing right now
And,
across the state.
And some of the folks with, COVID are getting pretty sick now.
But my friend, I've got a good friend that's actually being transferred to a major hospital with COVID.
What'd you say, 75%?
75% oxygen.
Ooh.
That's not good.
Not at all. And they've been on oxygen for a week. They've had it over a week and they've gotten worse. And now the doctors are concerned that it's affecting their heart. Their hearts started beating, have abnormal issues. And they're like, now it's attacking your heart. This is bad.
Not
Yeah.
good. Not good at all.
And this person's a nurse. So they contracted it probably on the job.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
Now's a bad time to be a dentist, a dental technician, or a nurse, a doctor.
I don't want to go. I have a doctor appointment next month, but I've made a lot of my appointments virtual, even with my genetic doctor, because I am not, luckily I had to reschedule a dentist appointment because I had something come up with a client. But I scheduled out for like July. It was a cleaning. So like, yeah. So because I don't want to be around any sickness. All my clients have been given letters. If you have been around sickness or you are sick, you're going to have to do virtual. Like I will not see them in person till they're better. And that's, my doctor, both doctors have said, this is to protect your health. Rheumatologists, I told you what they said. If I get sick, I'm going in a hospital. And I'm avoiding the hospital because there's a lot of sickness there.
Yeah, well, that's
you get like double sickness.
You've got nothing but sick people in the
Yeah, so
hospital. They don't send well people over there.
I even did church this weekend virtually because I want to go in there. Had mom here and we talked about it like, no, because people go out sick. I do not understand. Like, why don't you, when you're sick, do you not just stay home? I don't get it.
Well, that's what some people I know are doing. They've been doing it.
Yes. Which is the right thing to do.
It is.
I've been pumping gas with gloves on because I'm afraid to touch the pump. I mean, that's like I feel paranoid at this point, but I do not want to get sick.
I understand.
And I tried wearing a mask the other day, around a client, and my asthma acted up because the masks affect my asthma. It sent me into a little asthma issue. I'm like, well, this is a problem. So it's this mess. It's cold outside too, by the way. It hadn't gotten any warmer. It actually feels a little chillier.
We started to talk about it.
Yes.
The Iowa school shooting.
Yep.
Happened after yesterday. One sixth grader has been killed. 5 other people are hurt or injured. Man, small Iowa town, Perry High School, 7:37 a.m. their time, which is they're on
They're
daylight.
2 hours, I think, behind us.
No, they're 1 hour, I believe. But Iowa,
I thought they were 2. I'm gonna look.
but they're
I think they're one.
Are they
yeah,
one?
They're 1 hour.
yeah, and they're but the word wasn't spread till we were gone. It would have been about
Yeah.
8:40
Right.
our time.
Yeah, they're an hour. Yep.
Their
Happened
principal-
before classes began.
Yeah.
Right.
First school day after the winter break.
hmm
Police arrived at the scene less than 7 minutes later. They found multiple gunshot victims.
Yeah.
The shooter, 17-year-old Dylan Butler.
hmm
He was a student at the school.
Yep. Even got a picture of him right here.
Yeah, he had a picture
17
on
years old.
TikTok that he posted prior to the shootings. Shows him kind of at an angle. He took
Yeah.
the picture. He's got a duffel bag, and his caption was, "Now we wait."
hmm It almost looks like he's in like a school bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at this picture, because there's like a rail, this looks like a school bathroom
It is
to
a
me.
school bathroom. You could tell.
Yeah. By the flooring and
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
4 of the surviving victims are students. 1 is a school administrator.
hmm They said it was. I heard this morning it was the principal.
Yeah, the witnesses saw the principal shot.
hmm And of course, the gun control advocates came out, but now it's starting to come out that this kid had been bullied. And I had said as soon as I heard this, we were at work, we were talking about. I said, I guarantee this is going to end up being a bullying situation, and more and more information started to come out that he was bullied. Then supposedly his sister was starting to be bullied. Bullying starts in elementary school. And I think this is where teachers and administrators have a responsibility to, address this when it happens. And I have in the past had several caseloads of kid clients that have come to therapy for stress and anxiety due to bullying. And that's where I have made the statement on this show in the past that certain schools in Onslow County do a better job of addressing bullying than others. And I think it should be uniform. And I think the first time a bullying is proven to be occurring, it needs to be addressed. The bullier needs to be dealt with swiftly, immediately, and it needs to nip this. And then let's move to middle school. I will bring in pictures of text messages that clients have received from, a lot of it's girls, of the horrific group text bullying that these middle school and high school kids too engage in on social media that these parents often don't know is happening. Stuff like, go ahead and kill yourself.
Yeah.
You need to die. You're ugly. You're this. I've got a kid
There's
that's
no reason you cannot, as a parent, take the phone and check it
I
anytime
would
you want.
whip my kid's tail if I ever knew they had bullied anybody. Bottom line. I mean, and I would,
Do it to be sure they're not being bullied too.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
you can take action if they're being bullied.
Absolutely. And parents have to become steadfast. And in one instance of a parent here in a local school wanted me to attend a meeting with the school guidance counselor because, with the parent and the kid over the bullying, because the parent kept saying the school wasn't doing anything about it. It was all a fifth grader. And in other schools address it well. Bullying takes its toll. This is why I advocate for school uniforms. And I know it is an unpopular subject, but oftentimes kids are bullied over the clothes they wear. If they don't have the trendiest thing, or, a child that comes from a lower income family that may not, sadly, even be able to afford any of the cool, trendy things to other kids. Kids are cruel and vicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely cruel and vicious. And I think, there's a lot of things that could be done, but I think a lot of this bullying, when it's found to happen, needs to be instantly dealt with.
You're talking about school clothing, but today, wherever you go,
Mhm.
even the kids whose parents have quite a bit of money,
Mhm.
guess what they're wearing?
Ripped up stuff. And
Yeah, it looks like
a cat got hold of it with their claws.
Looks like
Yes.
but they buy it at the store.
Yeah.
That way.
Well, you talk about bullying. The one thing that I've noticed over the last couple of years, especially on social media, adults being bullied.
Oh,
And,
yes.
And I'm telling you, I think that's where a lot of the kids are getting it
They
from.
do.
Just for an example, and I know this is going to start a controversy, school board meetings.
Yes.
The adults that go up
There are no adults that go up.
to speak their mind. A lot of them are bullies.
Mhm.
They bully the board members. They bully the administrative staff,
Mhm.
and you've got kids sitting there, and I'm wondering what these kids are seeing this. The kids think it's okay.
Well, some of it,
what are we teaching our kids?
and some of it are hearing it in the home.
Yes.
Parents talking amongst themselves, or mom or dad on the phone, or
Right.
whatever. And kids are like sponges. They soak up what they hear. And a lot of things, you always hear about generational things in families because it's what they know. And bullying does start at home. I mean, in terms of what you're teaching your kid. But I also think, parents are not with their kids during the day when they're at school. The teachers are.
Mhm.
And not that the teachers don't have enough to do. My daughter was a teacher. My other daughter's sister-in-law is a current teacher here in Onslow County Schools. So I know what they deal with. But the teachers have to be vigilant on what they hear. And if they hear bullying take place, it needs to be nipped immediately.
Yep.
Because bullying will follow a kid. I remember this girl I went to school with. Her first name was Kathy. I'm not going to say her last name. I remember her getting bullied, and I can remember in 4th grade getting bullied. She was bullied all through high school.
Really?
And it affected her because now on Facebook, she'll talk about it a lot of times. And I remember standing up for her one time in 5th grade after we had a little spelling bee. and somebody had started, and I stood up because I was always trying to stand up for everybody. My teacher one time said, "You can't save everybody." Yes, you can. I argued with my teacher. Yes, I can. I'll save everybody. But that kid was bullied, and it affected her, and it affected the type of adult she became. And it's very sad. But now more and more what we're seeing is these kids that are bullied, like this kid, I'm not making excuses for, like they either commit suicide or they commit suicide in school, for example.
Sure.
Because they feel like there's nothing else they can do. And while as a therapist, I know that's not true. When you're relentlessly bullied and tortured every single day, you lose that ability to be objective about how things really work. And it's very, very sad.
Yeah. That case in Iowa,
Mm-hmm.
the guy, they say they were working to get to investigators are going to try to find out what the cause of it was. Well, they already have the cause of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy who'd been bullied.
Yeah.
Who had access to a pump action shotgun and a handgun.
Yeah.
Handgun he cannot have.
Right.
So daddy something screwed up somewhere, or he got it from somebody else. I don't know where.
Yeah. And
So-
this is a town of only 8,000.
8,000 people. It can happen anywhere, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it certainly can. You can put barbed wires around schools.
They also found an IED in the side of the school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they amounted to nothing. It was very makeshift and
Yeah.
it posed no
But
danger.
what if it had been, what if he'd have been able to, you know what I mean? Like the fact that he thought, I'm going to put a bomb here too. I mean, all these things speak to, in my opinion, where his thought process was.
I'm sure we'll learn more and more as the days progress.
Yep. You're live at Local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chris Rainer, your host for Sports Talk. Join us at 9 a.m. as we welcome in Marisa Reeder and Scott National Onslow Sports Commission. We'll be talking about upcoming events with the Sports Commission, and we'll see you on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only copper protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and your own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Southern Touch Paint Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to paint and maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting Maintenance and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties. The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
I'm away almost a year, but it's not. It's not. To go get some stuff that's on sale. There's some stuff that's on sale right now. Nautical decorations for your tree. Yep, you can get all sorts of nautical decorations put on one tree, or do like Robbie does. She's got a beach tree.
That's right.
I got all sorts of stuff on there. Santa fishing lures, diving types of ornaments, cool stuff reflects us. Maybe you should give it a try. Great time to start collecting those ornaments is now at Tideline Marine until 2 o'clock on Saturday the 13th, a week from tomorrow. You can buy any Christmas anything, and you'll get any other Christmas anything of equal or lower price, absolutely free, no strings attached. While you're down at Tideline, they got several boats in stock that are listed at 2023 prices. You might want to take a drive to downtown Jacksonville to take a look-see. When those boats in stock are gone, so will be last year's prices. In case you haven't noticed, there's everything across the board is going up the first of the year. That same thing will apply to that have to be ordered when the current stock is gone. Don't know much. They don't know. It's just time. Don't blame Tideline or any other dealers. They're on the receiving end of the price increases, just like the rest of us are. If you're even thinking of buying a new boat, motor, or trailer, you might want to wait no longer. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Offshore today, it's looking pretty decent today. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, diminishing to 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas only 2 to 4 feet, dominant period 7 seconds. The inlet should be fairly easy to navigate. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop later this afternoon, but then tomorrow. Southeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 35 knots offshore. Seas 3 to 5 in the morning, building to 7 to 10 in the afternoon. Near shore, seas 2 to 4, building to 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers rough. When you get up tomorrow morning and you think you can go offshore, you go down to the inlet, it doesn't look too bad. That's because you're there early. And it might not be too bad. But just think what's going to happen. Seas are running 3 to 5, and then they build to 7 to 10. In the afternoon when you're trying to come home. Good luck. Westerly winds on Sunday, 15 to 20 with gusts to 25, seas 4 to 6 feet, sounds and rivers choppy.
Today's sun high of 49. Tonight, cloudy, low of 33. That's chilly. Tomorrow, it's going to rain all day, 100% chance. It's going to be windy, gusty, gross. It's going to be water in the road. Please be careful. And if you don't have to go anywhere tomorrow, I suggest you stay home. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 40, and the rain supposedly will end around 7, but we'll see. It's still going to be gusty tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 58, but still gusty on Sunday.
Yep. Lucky crew members out there in South Dakota of a B-1 Lancer bomber assigned to Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. The plane crashed yesterday during a training mission yesterday afternoon. The aircraft was attempting to land on the installation at about 5:50 p.m. when it crashed. 4 crew members were aboard during the incident, and all 4 ejected safely, according to the base spokespeople. Further details of their conditions have not been released. That B-1 is a big... Look at it.
Yes, I saw the picture of it. It is.
Yeah. Automated weather reporting airfield conditions reported poor visibility, freezing temperatures, and low clouds at the time of the crash. Oh, my. Wow.
Speaking of when we were talking about first of the week of the Japanese airliner that hit the Coast Guard jet. They have determined that the Coast Guard plane was on the runway when it was not supposed to have been.
Uh-huh.
He was told to sit and wait, and he misunderstood and entered the runway as the passenger jet was coming down. So that is sad.
Somebody should have been screaming.
Yes.
Screaming as hard as they could is what they should have been doing.
Here's one right here
Go
for
ahead.
you. We were talking about schools. We've been talking about schools this morning, mainly math. Here's a story that just came out. The Chicago Board of Education. Now we're talking about Chicago, where they have many shootings every weekend. All right, the Chicago Board of Education, which runs Chicago Public Schools, is reportedly seeking to remove police officers from its schools in the next academic year. They are right now, they're trying to strip local school councils made of parents, teachers, and students of their power to choose whether or not to have resource officers. Now, they're paying like $10 million a year for these resource officers. And so what they want to do is remove them completely from the schools and not have any SROs, security, or police officers at all.
Well,
now, of all places, Chicago.
That'll take care of a lot of the population, won't it?
Oh my gosh. What's going to happen? They're going to have a school shooting, and then they're going to think twice about it. It's going to be an afterthought, just like with defunding the police. Let's defund the police, and the one that screams the loudest about defunding ends up having to call the police for something.
A billionaire associate of the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, he sent a lot of money, large donations to Republican presidential candidate Ramaswamy and several Democrat lawmakers. New York City-based hedge fund manager Glenn Dubin was the first named included in previously redacted court documents in the lawsuit against Epstein's former lover and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska had recently ordered the documents made public and were released on Wednesday. Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre said Dubin was the first individual Maxwell had sent to her for sex after she completed her massage training, according to a 2016 deposition. My. When they say massage, that means erotic, okay? That's their term for it, she said. And I'm telling you that Ghislaine told me to go to Glenn Dubin and give him a massage, which means sex.
You have to have training for that?
Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Dubin, the co-founder of Highbridge Capital Management, is heavily involved with philanthropic endeavors and has given federal candidates hundreds of thousands of dollars in political donations in recent years. According to Federal Election Commission filings, Dubin funneled $100,000 to Ramaswamy's American Exceptionalism PAC in 2023. They also added $6,600 in donations to his campaign last year. Ramaswamy appears to be his only donation to a Republican candidate in some time. His money has primarily gone to Democrat committees. He was responsible for a $50,000 donation to Hillary's Victory Fund and $33,400 contribution to the Democrat National Committee during the 2016 election cycle. He also showered the Senator Chuck Schumer-aligned Senate Majority PAC with $75,000 in cash in 2016 and 2018. What a holy mess this whole mess is.
It's a lot of money that goes into people's campaigns.
Many of the names released, of course, have not been implicated with doing anything, questionable. He had apparently a lot of high-profile connections, including former U.S. presidents. We know Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, I think, for a while, foreign prime ministers, Britain's Prince Andrew, Hollywood stars, leading academics, individuals in the modeling and fashion industries, and other public figures. Some of the names were previously known through other means, despite having been withheld from the public's eye in the lawsuit. 40 documents have been posted to the docket without the previous redactions that hid prominent names, including former presidents Clinton and Trump, Clinton's estranged longtime aide Doug Bann, the late former governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson, and French modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, who, like Epstein, died while awaiting trial.
Yeah, like Epstein died. Yeah. Well, everybody that they've mentioned so far, it's like the witness is saying, oh, yeah, well, I met them, but they didn't do anything.
Yep.
I mean, this whole thing so far has not shown us anything.
Well, I guess
There's a lot of redaction.
Prince Andrew settled with
Yes.
her. And I don't know whether Bill Clinton settled with her or not. Don't have any clue. Dubin's former private chef, Ronaldo Rizzo, was also among the names unsealed. Previously released documents revealed that Rizzo said Epstein and Maxwell once visited Dubin's house with a disoriented 15-year-old Swedish girl who told him the couple asked her for sex and that her passport had been taken. This was not a good people. They were both scum.
Where were these kids' parents?
Yeah.
Like, who just lets their kid?
And not less than they could be runaways.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Or kidnapped. Could be a thing like got taken.
Yeah.
True.
Wow.
Tony Figueroa, Limited Brands founder and former Victoria's Secret CEO Les Wexner, Epstein accusers such as Johanna Soberg and Annie Farmer. All of these names have been released. He was convicted of having sex with an underage girl and faced sex trafficking and conspiracy charges when he killed himself in 2019. My. None of these folks that have been named have responded to Fox News.
Yeah, why would they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I just think, whatever.
No, you're on your own, y'all.
Yes.
Well, Oscar Pistorius was freed.
Yeah. Really? After 9 years, wasn't it?
He did 11 years. Well, it's 11 years, but he served 9 years.
Yeah.
And they are, the police are telling him that there's been a lot of threats against him, that he's a target. Yeah.
He shot his girlfriend 4 times and killed her.
He's living with his wealthy uncle's guarded property now. So.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy story. He claimed that
Yeah,
he
he
thought
claimed-
she was an intruder.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
And according to this, he will be on parole, strictly monitored until December 2029.
Yeah. That's not going to stop anybody.
Right.
No.
I don't feel like his girlfriend got the justice and the family got the justice that they needed.
I agree with that.
It's South Africa, so
yeah.
378 police officers across the country were shot in the line of duty in 2023, 14% higher than the 330 shot in 2022.
Yeah.
47 of those 378 were killed. There were also 115 ambush-style attacks on law enforcement throughout the year. The Fraternal Order of Police President Patrick Yo said the organization had hoped 2022 would be a high watermark. We were wrong, he said. Man. Despite the record high number of officers shot, Yo's attributed the lower number of deaths to technological advancements. Most cops these days are wearing body armor.
Did you ever think you'd see the day where every police officer body
No,
armor
I did not.
just to go on a simple call?
I did not. The FOP has advocated for Congress to pass the Power, Protect, and Serve Act, which creates federal criminal penalties for those who target police officers. And he says a whole lot of this stuff is because of the defund the police movement,
Yeah.
the attacks on police officers. That's
course.
just,
It's sad.
it is sad. It's sad that they have to live like that. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We'll take a break. Your calls when we come back. If you've got something to say, if you got any dumb crook news, I don't think so. You're live in local Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Coming up on the next Goddard's Gold, it's Elvis, the 60s. All the hits, Stuck on You, Suspicious Minds, If I Can Dream, Good Luck Charm, Little Sister, In the Ghetto, Devil in Disguise, Can't Help Falling in Love, Surrender. So many hits and stories and interviews. It's Elvis, the 60s, next Gold. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Freedom 97.1 and 11:20 a.m. WSNE.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Hello, shoppers, and Happy New Year from your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things called Sless, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Beef back ribs, just $2.99 a pound. Whole bottom round Hollywood, just $3.59 a pound. Hog jowls, $1.99 a pound. How about single pack T-bone steaks, just $6.99 a pound? Pork spare ribs, just $1.79 a pound. 10 pounds or more fresh ground chuck, just $3.59 a pound. How about a 10-pound bag of fresh fryer leg quarters, just $4.99 for a 10-pound bag? And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, tender asparagus is just $1.99 a pound. Russet baking potatoes, 99 cents a pound. Zesty limes, great for those drinks, just 49 cents each. Western Honeycrisp apples, just $1.99 a pound. Sweet golden pineapples, $2.99 each. Haas avocados, 99 cents each. And crisp, fresh broccoli crowns, great for those salads, just $1.99 a pound. And you get 2-liter Cokes or Sprites. The pig price is 2 liters for just $3. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things call Sless, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the P.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSNE.
Had a single-engine plane go down in the Caribbean yesterday, piloted by an American. 51-year-old guy. He and his 2 daughters died in that crash. Went down in the ocean. He lived on the island. He's a resident of the island. Happened just west of the Petit Nevis Island around midday on Thursday yesterday.
That's a sad thing about
went down right after he took off, and that happens too often. Takeoff and landings. Times.
Well, that's what's sad about it is vehicle breaks down, you pull off the side of the road, you call a tow truck. But if you're in it and it breaks down or something goes wrong, there's only one way. There's only one way.
Gravity is not your friend.
That's right.
What kind of dummies have you run across?
Well, you want to talk about planes. I'll start with that one. In Las Vegas, Saturday, as in like a few days ago, Saturday, a guy stole a 2020 Kit Fox fixed-wing single-engine plane from the North Las Vegas airport, 2 o'clock. He stole the plane, flew it to an area near Barstow, and landed on the roadway outside the airport. So the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office made contact with the man. They didn't know that the plane was stolen. They just, I guess, see wisest idiot landing on the road. I mean, so at some point when they had contact with him, he took off running into the desert.
That would be a clue.
Yep. So then they took him into custody. So then he was, because Bartow's about 2 hours south of Las Vegas. I used to live there. And so when they figured out, I don't know how they figured this out, I guess him running was a clue that the plane was stolen. He was arrested for possession of a stolen airplane and transporting stolen property across state lines. And apparently other crimes, additional charges are pending, other crimes that occurred in Nevada. They haven't said what else he did. But now the North Las Vegas police are saying they think back on December 27th, 28th, and 29th, some planes were attempted to be stolen but weren't. And now they think he did that as well.
So don't leave your keys in your airplane when you.
Do people actually do that? I was wondering.
I don't know.
I mean, and I'm assuming he obviously knew how to fly a plane. Well, he must have.
It took off for 2 hours.
Yeah. Because I would always, if I'm running from a killer or something, there's a plane, I think I'm going to be in trouble because I've watched enough movies to know you pull that little lever up to go up, but that's about all I could do. I mean, it's kind of scary to think about.
Well, you got to get it started first.
Yeah. Now here's dumb, and I think you one because this is dumb. In Florida, because they just seem to be king of dumb down there. This woman called the cops, and she was at a Best Western hotel. He's stolen. So the police show up. Now, Lily Rinker. So they said, okay, what happened? What was stolen? What happened? She said, I was hanging out with my friend Carlos. I've known him a week.
I can't make a friendship in a week.
I'm hearing you. So she said during the time they hung out, she had $30 worth of pot in a grinder. Now she's telling all this to the cops. She said after Carlos left, she looked in her grinder and she felt like about a gram of her pot was missing. She said, so I'm pretty sure Carlos stole my pot and I want to report that. Now the cop is literally looking at her like there is no way this is serious. Turns out she said, no, I'm serious because I think they're thinking, is this a joke? Am I on like some kind of candid camera? So then they asked her for I need some ID because that's what cops do. So then what else do? They check. Turns out she had 2 outstanding warrants.
Come on, lady, turn around and put your hands behind your back.
One was for missing a court hearing for criminal mischief. I don't even know what that is. The other thing, this was for not appearing to a probation violation for a DUI that she got earlier that year. Mm-hmm. So she's got lengthy charges, just in general. So now she's held with no bond. So they just said, this lady's too stupid to be out in public. So we're just going to keep her there. And I was looking for one that my thing lost it where I had
all right, keep looking. Let's take a break. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full-color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and cuts and threads. The cleanup is finished. Light up that Wilmington Grill. 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through 30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back here. And Kelly, did you find your
Oh,
dumb
I
crook?
did. I found, y'all know I love Polk County Sheriff in Florida.
Mhm.
He is the greatest. He needs his own like TV show. So last week, a deputy at 11 o'clock at night doing their rounds. I don't know what driving, whatever it's called.
Patrol.
Thank you. Jeez, I couldn't think of the word. So a Polk County Sheriff's deputy noticed a bicyclist commit a minor traffic infraction. Now, it didn't say what he did. Now, what really got the deputy's attention was the guy was dressed in all black, wearing a backpack and a ski mask. Now, this is Florida. Okay. The ski mask would have been the first clue there's a problem. So the deputy tries to stop him. Michael just kept on pedaling, didn't stop. So finally, he did stop. He pulled the ski mask off and asked the deputy, and this is a quote because it's caught on camera, "Why you coming for me? I ain't done nothing." Sheriff Grady Judge says English teachers would probably quickly point out that ain't done nothing is a double negative, which means that Michael did do something. So they decided to search Mr. Michael's backpack, and there was a tackle box in it. Now, instead of I'm reading this as they wrote it in their press release. Instead of hooks, lines, sinkers, lures, or bobbers, the tackle box contained pipes, syringes, cocaine, meth, ecstasy, oxycodone, and marijuana. Michael admitted that he wore the ski mask so people couldn't see his face, but then he wasn't afraid of going to jail because jail is jail.
Well, good for him.
It's a place to sleep and get fed.
I got one.
So, yeah.
30-year-old man died at Salt Lake City International Airport after he accessed the airport's de-icing pad and crawled into an aircraft engine.
I saw that yesterday.
The initial investigation happened just before 10 o'clock on Monday when a store manager inside the airport reported a disturbance involving a passenger on the secured side of terminal. Investigators determined the man had left through an emergency exit door and accessed the airport's ramp area. Shortly after 10, police and airport workers found the man unconscious inside a wing-mounted engine of an occupied commercial aircraft on the de-icing pad. The aircraft engines were not running at the time. Delta Airlines said the incident happened while 2 pilots, 3 flight attendants, and 95 customers were aboard the Airbus set to travel to San Francisco. First responders removed the man from the engine intake cowling, declared him dead on the scene, but they still performed life-saving efforts. They were futile. They were still working to identify the guy and his cause of death. The passengers were rebooked. They canceled the flight.
What would make, I read that yesterday, actually. What made this man think that?
Why did he leave the airport in the first place? What was his reason? He had something going on somewhere.
Yeah.
Or he was just, in La La Land. Who knows?
La La Land.
La La Land sounds
I would say
pretty good
La
right
La
now.
Land.
I mean.
Definitely.
Yeah. I read that and I was like, what? And the worst part about it is those people, now all of them that had places to be their flights got canceled. Their flight got
That
canceled.
one was canceled, but they
That
they
would have
booked
made
on
me
others.
mad.
Yeah, but sometimes you may have to wait a couple hours. They got to find. I've learned the hard way. They have to find a plane. I mean, it's not like you just call up Planes R Us and another one's brought to you. I know that after sitting 12 hours on a runway. So it's just not that. I'd be furious. Oh, I just don't. I just like to know the thinking behind that.
A mayor of a small, unassuming town on the outskirts of Chicago, where the median income is $24,000 per year, has been living the life of a royal as she is deemed by critics to exhibit antics that are both corrupt, meaning what they consider as an overuse of power, and hilarious to the point where she belongs in a comedy show like Parks and Recreation. Tiffany Henyard, a progressive Democrat, was elected as the mayor of Dolton, Illinois in April of 2021. She is also the supervisor of Thornton Township. For these positions, she brings home more than the state's governor, nearly $300,000. She calls herself a super mayor and frequently posts messages that suggest that God chose me.
Oh, my.
Okay.
And one of the greatest examples decried by our critics, Henyard put an ordinance in place that if she lost her election to be mayor in the upcoming elections, the future mayor's salary would be reduced from over $200,000 to $25,000. But if Henyard wins, the salary would remain the same. She put that on the books.
Oh, my word. That's ridiculous. I just can't. Well, I've got one for you.
Okay.
Last Thursday to be exact, a guy in El Paso, Texas, who has been arrested 27 times and has a quote extensive record, was arrested on 4 outstanding criminal warrants. And this is where when we were talking earlier about bail and bonds. Okay, let me get to that. So last week it was theft of property. By the sheriff's office and the police department teamed up. And then, theft of property by the sheriff, theft of property by the police department, evading arrest, and evading with a motor vehicle by a whole different police department. So they all like triple team this guy. So anyway, the total bond was set at $71,500, and he was booked in El Paso County Detention. However, the criminal jail magistrate reduced his bond Saturday to $41,500, despite his extensive arrest record and despite the police saying, do not let this fool out of jail. So, of course, Sunday, New Year's Eve, he posted bond. So throughout 2023, he's been arrested 27 times. He's been arrested for aggravated assault, property-related crimes, weapons violations, and narcotic offenses. And the police are like, we want this guy off the streets because they're saying he is a danger to the public. So they're mad at whoever that magistrate is for reducing his bond because they said this guy completely threatens public safety. And he looks so outstanding. That's his pitch.
Oh, special guy.
Oh, he is
special.
Yeah.
Ugh. I just want to mention real quick, coming up after our show this morning, Sports Talk with Chris Rayner. And his special guest today will be Marissa Rita and Scott Smith at the Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission.
Yep, good.
So be sure
That'll be
to
a good
stay
show.
tuned for that. You can listen to it on 97.1, 1120 a.m. or by our website, WSME971.com, and on their Facebook, Freedom 97.1
They have their own
WSME.
Facebook page too, so you can watch them on there.
So be sure to watch.
It'll be worth watching.
And do we have a ball game this weekend?
I do not think so. Not that we're covering anyway.
No, it was yesterday.
I know we had one yesterday. I just wanted to
Jacksonville
make sure
won.
we didn't have another one.
No, they don't play 2 days in a row.
Not necessarily. They have been known.
Well, the next one will be
It's the 12th, next week.
The one is Havelock, but I don't.
Ooh,
this says Havelock NC, Havelock High School,
Yeah, on
but
the
it doesn't
12th.
say who.
No, at Havelock.
I see, but I assume that's Jacksonville.
It
will be
is
at
the
Havelock on the
Cardinals
12th.
basketball
Got it.
schedule. Yeah.
But we're not broadcasting that one.
No,
live,
but they put it
apparently.
on there. But they just put the games on there.
But then the next one we broadcast is on the 15th, and that will be at White Oak, and Jacksonville will be there taking on the Vikings.
That's next
So,
Friday.
Yep. So anyway, that's
that's Monday. The following Monday.
Yeah.
That's Martin Luther King Day.
13th is Saturday. Yep.
That's right.
Okay. We're going to take a few days off here again. Not as many as we took off last weekend or the weekend before. Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. We
Get
take
spoiled
off.
by that.
And sometimes the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends. Okay. We will see you Monday morning. Do we have anybody scheduled as yet?
We have some on the schedule. We're still working out final details. We have one that was canceled from this week that we're scheduling for next week.
Okay.
I know our mayor, Swansboro, is supposed to be in next week to just talk about Mayor Swansboro and what's happening in Swansboro.
Yeah.
And so we have a few guests on tap working to get more.
We invite all of you who are candidates running for public office here,
That's
school
right.
board, the county commission. If you want to come on here and talk about your campaigns, we'll give you a decent amount of time to do that.
Right.
We also encourage you to hit up Lee and get a schedule all across, not just on this show, but all across WSME if you want it to be all everywhere, and get up a commercial schedule.
Yeah. So I've been working on getting that together and trying to gather everybody's emails. Not
Yes.
been fun.
So anyway, have a great weekend. Stay dry tomorrow. Stay warm tonight, and stay off of the ocean. I can just tell you that.
Choppy water.
Yeah, it's going to be some messy stuff out there, especially tomorrow.
No duck hunting tomorrow.
No. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. Coming up right now, Fox News at 10 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock, right after Fox News, of course, we got Sports Talk. And then after Sports Talk, we've got another dose of the Daily D's. Rick will hand it off to Hollywood this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.